You know, there aren't many countries that would swap economic stats for happiness scores, but Bhutan has actually done it. Instead of obsessing over GDP, they focus on something called gross national happiness, and it totally changes how they run things.
That choice is so bold, especially since basically the entire world uses GDP to judge progress. In Bhutan, though, it's like their whole society is built around being truly content, not just getting richer. Imagine if more places measured success that way.
It's wild to think about. Their fourth king started this philosophy back in the 72nds, and by 2008, it was pretty much law. 4 pillars guide everything: sustainable development, looking after the environment, keeping culture alive, and making sure the government works for everyone.
I love that mix, honestly. And what blows my mind is, even though most Bhutanese aren't wealthy by global standards, over 90% say they're happy. It's proof that contentment isn't just about money, it's so much deeper.
That actually reminds me, I read that over 70% of Bhutan's land is still covered by forests. They're so strict, you can't even cut down fresh trees. It's the only country that absorbs more carbon than it emits.
That policy has put them on the map for climate leadership. Hydropower is their big thing. It powers homes and even exports electricity to India. It's not just green, it's become a source of income for the country.
And they're serious about protecting animals too. There are these special wildlife corridors to let creatures like snow leopards and black-necked cranes move safely. Not many places think that far ahead.
The way they weave environmental policies into daily life is impressive. For Bhutan, taking care of nature isn't a side project, it's right at the heart of their happiness philosophy.
Speaking of weaving in values, Bhutan handles tourism in a totally different way too. Visitors have to book through government-approved agencies and pay a daily sustainability fee.
That fee makes a lot of sense. Instead of chasing massive tourist numbers, they focus on quality over quantity and funnel the money back into protecting their heritage and environment. I wish more popular spots did this.
Absolutely. It keeps places like the Tiger's Nest Monastery from getting trampled by crowds. Plus, locals still wear traditional clothes and live in those gorgeous old-style houses so the culture doesn't get lost in the rush to modernize.
It must be a balancing act, not shutting the world out, but making sure what makes Bhutan special actually lasts for future generations.
But even paradise has its struggles. In recent years, youth unemployment skyrocketed to 30%, and more people started leaving for jobs elsewhere. The pandemic really hit their tourism sector hard.
That shift pushed Bhutan to try some pretty unconventional fixes. For example, they started using their hydropower to mine Bitcoin and reportedly earned hundreds of millions. But some folks worry about the environmental and ethical side of crypto.
Exactly, mining crypto might bring in cash, but it can be energy hungry. Even with clean hydropower, there are questions about whether it fits with Bhutan's values. Still, it shows how flexible the country is when times get tough.
It's fascinating they're so dedicated to happiness and the environment, but they're not afraid to experiment if it means keeping the country afloat. That kind of adaptability is rare.
Now, Bhutan's pushing things even further with something called GNH2, a modern spin on their happiness idea. Their king just announced plans for Gallifu Mindfulness City, which sounds straight out of a sci-fi novel.
The scale is huge, 2,500 square kilometers, a university, a hospital, hydroponic farms, and even a blockchain-based currency backed by gold. I'm really curious how they'll blend this high-tech vision with their spiritual roots.
They're taking inspiration from places like Singapore for the business side, but keeping their own culture at the center. It's almost like they want to prove you can be modern, spiritual, and sustainable all at once.
If they pull it off, it could be a model for other small nations. Bhutan's story shows you don't need to be big to make a big difference. You just need a bold vision and the courage to stick with your values.